The little bird lay still on the cold sidewalk, its wings trembling, its tiny chest moving fast with fear. Most people would have walked right past it. Some already had. But one child stopped, and in that small moment, everything changed. What happened next wasn't loud or dramatic. There were no cameras. No applause. Just a quiet act of kindness that grew into something so powerful, it left everyone who witnessed it with tears in their eyes. Before we begin, if stories like this touch your heart and remind you of the good still alive in the world, please take a second to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Kindness Story Hub, a place where small acts of kindness create big ripples. 8-year-old Noah lived with his mom in a small neighborhood in Ohio. It was the kind of place where kids rode bikes until sunset and neighbors waved from their porches. Noah was a quiet child. He noticed things others didn't: cracks in the sidewalk, clouds shaped like animals, and sounds most people tune out. That afternoon, Noah was walking home from school, his backpack bouncing against his shoulders. He had a math test on his mind and what his mom might make for dinner. Then he heard a faint sound. A soft, broken chirp. He stopped. The sound came from near a parked car. Noah knelt down and saw a small brown bird lying on its side. One wing was bent at an unnatural angle. The bird's eyes were open, but filled with panic. Noah's heart started pounding. He had never touched a wild animal before. He didn't know what to do. But he knew one thing clearly: he couldn't just leave it there. Carefully, he took off his hoodie and wrapped it around the bird, just like his teacher once showed them how to hold something fragile. The bird struggled for a moment, then grew still, sensing the warmth. Noah ran the rest of the way home. His mom, Sarah, was surprised when he burst through the door, breathless and wide-eyed. When she saw the bundle in his arms, she froze. "Noah," she said gently, "what is that?" "I found it hurt," he replied. "We have to help it." Sarah hesitated. Money was tight. They didn't have pets. And she knew wildlife care could be complicated. But when she looked at Noah's face, she saw something deeper than concern. She saw responsibility. Compassion. She nodded. They searched online and found a small wildlife rescue center about 20 minutes away. Sarah called, and the woman on the other end told them to come right away. During the drive, Noah kept peeking into his hoodie, whispering softly, "It's okay. You're safe now." At the rescue center, the staff gently took the bird and examined it. The wing was fractured, but treatable. The bird would survive. Noah let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Before they left, the woman thanked Noah. She told him most injured birds don't make it because people don't stop. They don't notice. Or they think it's not their problem. Noah didn't say much. He just smiled. Days passed. Then weeks. Noah thought about the bird often. He wondered if it was scared. If it remembered him. He even drew pictures of it in his notebook at school. One afternoon, a letter arrived in the mail. It was from the Wildlife Rescue Center. Inside was a photo. The bird stood on a branch, wings spread wide, sunlight catching its feathers. Fully healed. Ready to be released. Noah's eyes filled with tears. The letter said something else too. The rescue center was hosting a small release event, and they invited Noah to come that Saturday. Noah and his mom drove back. The staff placed the bird in a small open cage. Everyone gathered quietly. They asked Noah if he wanted to open it. His hands shook as he reached forward. He opened the door. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the bird hopped out, paused, and flew. It soared up into the sky, free. Noah cried openly. His mom wrapped her arms around him. Even the staff wiped their eyes, but the story didn't end there. A few days later, Noah's teacher asked him to share what he did with the class. At first, Noah was nervous. He didn't like attention. But he stood up and told them about the bird. About stopping. About choosing to help as something shifted in that classroom, kids started talking about helping animals. One student helped an elderly neighbor carry groceries. Another stood up for a classmate being bullied. Small stories began filling the room. The school noticed. They started a kindness board, where students could post notes about good deeds they saw or did. It filled up fast. Noah's act spread beyond the classroom. A local newspaper picked up the story. Then a community group invited Noah to speak at a small event. Each time, Noah said the same thing: "I just didn't want it to be alone." That sentence stuck with people. Parents hugged their kids a little tighter. Neighbors checked in on each other more often. The Wildlife Rescue Center saw an increase in volunteers and donations, all because one child stopped. Months later, on a warm spring morning, Noah sat on the front steps of his house. He heard a familiar sound, a chirp. He looked up and saw a small brown bird perched on the tree across the street. It tilted its head, then fluttered its wings. Noah smiled. He didn't know if it was the same bird. But somehow, it felt like a thank you that day. Noah understood something many adults forget: kindness doesn't need permission. It doesn't need a big plan. It just needs a moment where you choose to care. In a world that often feels rushed and divided, kindness is still powerful, still contagious, still capable of changing lives, both small and large. That injured bird didn't just heal a wing. It opened hearts. It reminded a community that compassion is a strength, not a weakness, and it all began with a child who stopped walking, listened, and chose to help. As you go about your day, remember this story. You never know who or what might be waiting for your kindness. A small act could become someone else's miracle. Let's keep spreading kindness, one simple moment at a time. Yellow Heart.